The reality is most family businesses fail, and that's if they even get off the ground, but yours doesn't have to. If you avoid these 5 mistakes that I'm going to lay out in this video, your business will not only survive, it'll thrive. But before we get started, who am I? My name is Malcolm Bowser, and for the past 8 years, I've been running a business with my family, and we've generated over $1.1 million in revenue. Now, that was not without mistakes. But we learned from those mistakes, and that's where I actually compiled this list from, because I took our experiences, the ups and downs, and everything in between, and what we could have avoided to hit our revenue goals even faster. And it boils down to these 5 things. And I have a bonus one at the end that you're going to want to check out. All right, so let's get to it. So the first one is having no shared vision, right? When you get a collective of people together, they have different goals and different expectations. And when those clash, right? When those differ and those clash, then that builds resentment from everybody on the team. And that's not what you want. You want to have a shared vision of where you want the business to go and how you want it to look. Okay, so when we first started our business, I was 22, just out of college, all black hair. I didn't have any kids. I was still living at home with my mom's. I drove a 99 Toyota Camry. Only money I needed was for gas, haircuts, and to take my lady out on dates. That was it. That's all I cared about. I didn't have any real responsibilities. However, my dad, he's older, him and my stepmom, they were thinking about legacy. They were thinking about creating something that's going to stand past them, or something that they can create that they can pass down to their grandkids that didn't even exist yet, right? But that's what you kind of are dealing with when it comes to building a family business. Now, years later, I'm 31. I have 2 kids now. I have a fiance. I have a different set of responsibilities. So sometimes the different goals and expectations that people have are just at where people are at in their lives. So it doesn't have to be like, a personality thing. It could just be what is important to them then. But without a shared vision, you're going to clash. So what you need to do is you need to sit down as a family unit, and think about where you want this business to go. Do you want it to get really, really big? Do you want it to be a $10 million, $20 million business where it'll be past family, like you'll be hiring other people? Or do you want it to keep it in-house? Do you want to keep everything close-knit and tight? What does that look like for you? When we first started our business, we were starting a podcast, and my one and only rule, like one of my core values, I said, I don't want to get into it with anybody on the internet, any other podcasts or any YouTube channels that have something to say about us. I don't want to go back and forth, because I just didn't want that energy. And we stuck to that. We did over 519 episodes, and we stuck to that. So create a list of some core values that you guys have. Create a list of what you want the business to look like. Is it a circle of trust? Is it just between you guys? Would you want to hire other people to come in and help? What does that look like for you? Create a shared vision, and then you won't have these clashes of ideals that usually stop family businesses before they even get started. Okay? So now let's go to number 2. No defined roles or responsibilities. Okay. So sometimes everybody is trying to do everything, and then there are cases where people aren't even doing enough. When we first started our business, we literally were trying to do everything all at once at the same time. And as a result, nothing got done. I remember us running our first Black History Month sale, and it got to the point, because we were stepping on each other's toes so much, I dreaded a sale coming in. Now, think about how backwards that sounds. We're in a business. When a sale comes in, that means money. And, your business is there to make some money. And when a sale came in, I knew it would cause an argument, because the order wasn't right. The shirt didn't look right. It wasn't packaged right. The address might be wrong. And because we didn't have set roles or responsibilities, we were all over the place. So if you are serious about starting your own family business and have no idea where to start, I have something for you, okay? It's my family business playbook. It is filled with resources, tools, and guides that'll help you go from idea to actual business, okay? All you have to do is click the link in the description below, or comment the word playbook, and I'll get it right to you, all right? So let's get back. it was a mess. That first sale we ran was a complete mess. We got through it kicking and screaming, but it was a mess. By the second time around, by the second year we did that big sale, we had roles and responsibilities. Malcolm was the one pressing the shirts, peeling the vinyl and things like that, pressing the hats, putting the books in the folders. My stepmom was the one making sure everything was neat, packaged, had our cards in the packaging and things like that. My dad was the one keeping track of the orders, making sure everybody's label went onto the right order, and then we were all shipping and handling. Okay, but I say that to say that second time around, we had roles and responsibilities, and we ran like a well-oiled machine. We weren't stepping on each other's toes. Everybody knew where they needed to be, why they needed to do it, and what their responsibilities were. What you need to do is you need to create roles for people's, like, what their strengths are. I'm more logistical. I like things to make sure. I like to make sure things are where they needed to be. My stepmom, she was more personable, right? So we had her deal with customer service issues. So when somebody emailed angry because, we got the color shirt wrong or something like that, mistakes happen. And she was able to sweet talk them in the email and then completely disarm them. They weren't angry anymore. And then they still loved us and they still ordered from us because they had such a great experience with our customer service. My dad, he likes to be the manager. He thinks he is Steve Jobs, right? So he was the one overseeing everything, making sure we stayed with our collective vision. So use people's strengths to your advantage. What are you good at? What do you like to do naturally? What does your mom or your dad or your brother like to do naturally? So have them in those roles, because without set roles and responsibilities, you're going to be trying to do everything. Everybody's going to be everywhere all at once at the same time, like a movie, and you're not going to go anywhere. All right. So set roles and responsibilities. And if you're visual, create like an organizational chart. And sometimes based on what is needed from, the business at a specific time, if you're running a sale, if you're running a campaign, if you're launching a new product, roles may change. Right? Everything is not really set, especially when you're starting out. It can be fluid. You're still getting your footing. So, list it out. Number 3, this is a big one, and this one held us up for a long time, and I see it holding up a lot of people today. Okay. A fear of investing. Now, I'm not talking about investing in stocks or bonds or anything like that. I'm talking about investing in the business, investing in advertising, investing in tools and software that can make the job easier, investing in coaching so somebody can help you navigate what you're going through, help you get to another level of where you want to go in your business. All right. When we first started out our business, we were afraid of advertising because we have this mentality that if I pay $100 for something, I want an immediate return on investment. And in business, when you're in entrepreneurship in general, there is some inherent risk that something might not work out. Now, you might create an advertising campaign that you think will work out, you think will garner some sales back. Sometimes you might be advertising to the wrong audience, and you did not know that unless you tried, or you might not have realized that your ad wasn't really effective, or your product or your offer wasn't that good. And what you needed to do was to get it out there. Advertise, risk some money, put some money on the table, that on the figurative table, right? To see what works and what doesn't work. Okay. Buy some software so you can make your job easier. We were editing videos, by short form videos, like the super long way. Then we were able to invest in a software that does it all for us because it uses AI. Like, you want to figure out what you can do to invest to make your business grow and make it run faster. If you need to invest in coaching, if you need to invest in a consultant to help you kind of navigate what it is. Entrepreneurship is like going through a long, dark tunnel without a flashlight sometimes. And the right coach can be that flashlight, the right course, it can be that flashlight to help you see what you weren't seeing before, to help you actually navigate. And if you are afraid of investing, then you're going to run into the same problems over and over and over again. So a fear of investing is a mistake. Don't do it. So what you need to do, a quick fix for that, right? So for advertising, you want to start to create an advertising budget that you can just set aside, that you can use for testing and you can use to actually scale your advertising. So if you feel like, let's say for an instance, if you have a product and this podcast audience would be perfect for that product, okay? If you can put aside some money so you can advertise on that podcast, let's say, then you might see that people like your ad, people like your product, and you can see in real time what the return on investment is. We had a podcast, and we would do our show live Mondays and Thursdays, and we would have commercial breaks, and those commercials would be from people who wanted to advertise with us, like some of our viewers who had businesses and they wanted to advertise with us. And then people were able to see in real time how an actual audience felt about their product. Oh my gosh, this ad is amazing. Oh, well, where can I find it? The link is in the description. Like, we were able to people were able to actually see what they needed to work on. Or, I don't know about this product, I'm actually confused about this ad. I don't know what this means. I don't know what this does. Then you are able to go back to the drawing board and say, okay, our product is confusing to people. Why are they confused? And these are the reasons what people were saying. So you want that feedback. So create a marketing budget so you can test, retest, iterate, and things like that. And also invest in growth. That could be software to help you. That could be coaching. Just figure out what you need that can actually make your business go to the next level. Okay. So don't be afraid of that. You could start out small, but eventually you're going to have to, put some money aside. And this is what you have to think about. There are billion-dollar companies who put money aside for these things. They put money aside for consultants to come in to help a marketing department, or to help their sales, or to help this. They put money aside they have entire marketing departments because they understand the importance of advertising. Okay. So you can't be afraid. If you want a business that actually makes money, you can't be afraid to do the same thing, even on a small level. Okay. Number 4. Okay. This is relying on social media for your audience growth. Now, social media is important for your audience growth. That's not what I'm saying, but only relying on people in your immediate bubble. Okay, so when people launch businesses, it is very standard. You go on Instagram and you go on Facebook, or maybe LinkedIn, to announce it to the people in your world, your friends, your family, the ones that are not, in the business, your friends, your family, and you say, hey, I got this new product. I got this new business. I launched it. Here we go. Okay. And that might be good for a few one-off sales people who want to support, who want to show you love, but it'll probably stop the next month because they don't really need it. They were just showing you some support. You need to build you need to build a network of strangers who actually like your business, who actually want to support you, or who actually need you to solve their problem. So what that means is creating an actual email list of people, of buyers, so you can reconnect with them. You can send out email blasts, right? This means creating content to show people how you can solve their problem for them, because all business is you solving a problem for somebody else. That's what people pay for. They pay for you to mow their lawns. They pay for you to fix their plumbing. They pay for you to cater their wedding. That's what business is at the end of the day. So if you can demonstrate that you can do that for strangers, then you're better able to build a sustainable business. You cannot build a business from your cousins or your aunts and stuff like that. You cannot build a business just relying on them to buy from you. Okay. So yeah. So what you need to do is work on your email list, right? Try to collect some emails, because email is one of the most important ways that you can build your business and build your audience. Figure out what kind of content you are comfortable with creating. This is a long form piece of content. Okay. This podcasting, long form pieces of content. If your product doesn't take, if you have a water bottle that you want to sell, you don't need to create long form pieces of content for you. It could be short form pieces of content like TikTok, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, for example, that show what the product does, that show the benefits of it, and that can translate to somebody actually making a purchase. Okay. So, and you can think about partnerships that makes sense. You could think of influencers or other YouTubers whose audience again would be perfect for this product. If you can get with them, you can work with them and figure out a way to get on their show or advertise with them or something to that effect. All right. So you need to build an audience, right? Friends and family who are not in the business is not the way to do it. Okay. In our business, I can't tell you how many times having an actual audience has gotten us out of jams. All right. Sometimes we were low on cash for whatever reason, and we needed some money so we can probably try to reinvest it back into some advertising. So what we were able to do was we had a large email list. We were able to say, hey, flash sale for the next 48 hours. The cart closes at midnight, right? And then we were able to make some cash and then flip that back into some advertising and then get even more people in. And then we were back on our feet. I cannot stress how important building an audience is for your business. Okay. Number 5, this one is super important. And I see people stumble upon this one all the time, especially when it comes to building a family business. And that's treating your business like a hobby and not like an actual business. Okay. There's no structure, no schedules, no real commitment, no accountability, because, you're working with your dad, you're working with your mom, and you feel like, I'm good, man. They love me. They can't fire me. Or, you're working with your brother. He understands how it is, man, but you won't do that for your 9-to-5 job. And that's because you feel like your 9-to-5 job is real and this business that you claim you want to build isn't real. And you're shortchanging yourself. You're shortchanging everybody around you who you want to do this with. So you need to actually show up and actually stop treating your business like a hobby. We've done it for years. We had moments where, I would come in late, or I would, give a half-ass effort when you need to give a full ass effort, right? And we've had to check each other. There have been plenty of times where we each had to check the other one. I got my stepmom. She's great at what she does, but she works very slow. So we've had to tell her, like, yo, we need this now. End of the day, we need this thing. Or Malcolm, I need you to write these emails, 2-hour list. I need you to edit this video. Dad, we need you to make this video. We need you to create some form of content, whatever it is. We have to have some form of accountability to each other and actually hold that to each other, especially if you actually want this business to be successful. If not, if you want it to be a hobby, then don't expect real results from it. You want it to be a hobby. You want to make a couple $100, here and there. You want some haircut money, right? You want some pocket change, cool. But if you want to actually create a real business that you can possibly pass on, or you can build some real wealth with your family, then you need to take it serious. Okay. I promised you a bonus one, and this one I think will is what stops people from trying to start a family business in the first place. Okay. Now this is letting family drama affect business. All right. Affect business decisions. The reason why a lot of family businesses fail because they don't separate the family business from the business of family. They let outside arguments outside of the ring of the business come in and affect what decisions are made, how people act towards each other. There have been times me and my pops have had full-blown arguments. Like, we are cursing each other out. And then we got to, do the podcast. We got to get on the show. And then we act like nothing happened, because we understand, like, inside these lines, these invisible lines of the business, we have to be professional, and we have to understand that what happens out there doesn't happen in here. We have to make sure this thing goes forward. And then, we make up, or I've seen my dad and my stepmom argue, and sometimes they bring it within the business, and I go, whoa, that didn't happen here. That didn't happen, in the business. That happened in your room, right? That didn't happen here. So that's what you have to do. You have to make sure that you are professional with each other, that you respect each other enough not to bring outside things into the business, because that's what slows people up the most. All right. So I hope you enjoyed those 5 things, and I hope you understand how those can stop your family business and why those. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you understand how those 5, actually 6 things can really stifle your family business growth and how to actually fix them. Okay. If you have any comments, or if you have anything that you've actually been through, like what I've actually described here, leave it in the comments. I'm very interested to see what you guys say. Also, if you are serious about starting your own family business and you want an actual guide to take you step by step on how to do it, I have a free playbook for you. It's my family business playbook. It is the tools, resources, and the guide to take your family business from idea to actual business. Okay. It has the 12 principles to starting a family business. It has a 12-day launch plan. It has a 3-step framework that got our family business to 6 and 7 figures. It has personal assessments in there as well. There's so much in there as resources. All you have to do is hit the button below, hit the link below, and you get it, or comment the word playbook down below and I'll get it straight to you. Don't forget to subscribe. My name is Malcolm, and peace.